I sat alone at a corner table in a dimly lit upscale restaurant, white tablecloth, flickering candlelight, and a violinist softly playing in the background. A glass of red wine stood untouched before me. Every time the door creaked open, my eyes darted with a sliver of hope. But deep down, I knew she wasn't coming. It was our 8th wedding anniversary. I had made the reservation 3 weeks in advance. The same restaurant where I had proposed to her. I even wore the same blazer, just slightly tighter now, and carried a handwritten note in my inner pocket. Something I thought would melt her heart, the way my words used to. But all that warmth had slowly disappeared. No text, no call, nothing. Instead, I knew exactly where she was, at our home, laughing with her friends, hosting a Super Bowl party. A party she didn't even bother to invite me to. Things hadn't always been this way. When we first met, Lisa was a kind of woman who'd dance barefoot in the rain, who'd cry watching Pixar movies, who once told me, "I don't want diamonds, I just want moments." And I believed her. I gave her my moments, my time, my energy, my heart. I still remember our first anniversary. She surprised me with a scrapbook filled with photos, ticket stubs, and little notes from our first year together. I cried that night. I didn't even know I could cry like that. I had never felt so loved, so seen. But now, she barely looked up from her phone when I walked in the room. It began subtly. First, the date nights turned into movie nights at home. Then movie nights became she's too tired. Then came the parties, her friends, her work colleagues, girls' nights, brunches, football Sundays. I kept trying, but every attempt felt like knocking on a door that nobody cared to open anymore. Tonight was a final straw. Earlier that morning, I woke up before her. I made her favorite breakfast, avocado toast with chili flakes and poached eggs. She didn't even take a bite, just mumbled, "Not hungry," and asked if I could clean up quickly because her friends were coming over for the Super Bowl. "Wait, today? You're hosting today," I asked, trying to mask the disappointment already cracking through my voice. She looked at me, casually, as if I'd just asked about the weather. "Yeah, why? Oh, don't tell me you forgot the games today." "No, I didn't forget," I said quietly. "I just thought maybe we'd go out tonight. It's our anniversary, Lisa." A beat of silence, then a shrug. "Oh, right. Damn, I totally spaced on that. Can we do something next weekend instead?" Next weekend. That phrase echoed inside me like a hollow laugh. "Lisa, I made reservations. I even reminded you 2 days ago." She looked down at her phone, tapping away. "Well, I already bought all the snacks, the wings, the drinks. Everyone's coming over. You know how much I love football season. More than our marriage." I asked without meaning to. Her eyes lifted, finally locking with mine. For a moment, I thought I saw something flicker. Remorse, maybe? But no, just irritation. "You're being dramatic. We can celebrate any day. It's just a date." "No, Lisa, it wasn't just a date. It was a day we promised forever." So I left the house without another word. Dressed up, drove to the restaurant, waited for her anyway, because a part of me, the foolish romantic part, still thought she'd show up, but she didn't. I sat there for 2 hours, watching couples laugh, toast glasses, feed each other bites of dessert. My table stayed untouched, a plate of pasta slowly going cold in front of me. The violinist approached the table. "Waiting on someone, sir?" I smiled weakly. "Not anymore." He gave me a sad nod and turned away. I wanted to scream, to cry, but I just sat there, letting the candle burn down like the final spark in our marriage. On the drive home, I passed a streetlight that flickered exactly the way I felt, faint, unsure, tired. When I walked into the house, the noise hit me first. Laughter, the sound of the game on TV, the clinking of glasses. Our living room was full of her friends. She was sitting in the middle, wearing my old college jersey. She caught sight of me and waved casually, like I was a neighbor dropping by. "There's pizza in the kitchen," she shouted, then turned back to her conversation. I stood there for a long minute. No one asked me to sit. No one even really acknowledged me. I wasn't her husband anymore. I was just a shadow passing through a party. I walked upstairs, loosened my tie, sat on the edge of our bed, and pulled out the note from my blazer pocket. I unfolded it slowly. The words blurred as my eyes welled up, but I knew them by heart. 8 years ago, I didn't just marry you. I married laughter, comfort, safety, warmth. I still believe in us, Lisa, even when you don't. But I can't be the only one holding on. My hands trembled as I folded it back. I didn't leave it on her pillow. I didn't place it in her hand. I burned it in the bathroom sink and watched the ashes circle the drain. That night, I didn't sleep in our room. I took the guest bedroom, somewhere I hadn't stepped foot into in years. It was cold, lifeless, but it still hurt less than sharing a bed with someone who had emotionally left me a long time ago. When morning came, she knocked on the door. "Hey," she said, voice still groggy, hair tied in a messy bun. "Why are you sleeping in here?" I stared at her. "Lisa, do you even realize what last night meant to me? What it should have meant to both of us?" She crossed her arms. "I told you we could have done something next weekend. Why are you making this a bigger deal than it is?" "Because it is a big deal. Because I'm a husband, not a roommate. Because I spent the last year trying to remind you we still exist, and all you've done is drift further away." I didn't say any of that. Instead, I just said, "I don't think you love me anymore." The silence that followed was louder than any fight we'd ever had. She didn't rush to correct me. She didn't reach out. She didn't cry. She just stood there. I don't know what I feel right now," she said finally. I nodded. "Then maybe it's time we both figure that out. Separately." I packed a bag that afternoon. It's been 6 weeks now. I moved into a small apartment near the river. I go on long walks in the evenings. Sometimes, I still find myself picking up 2 coffees by mistake. Old habits die hard. Lisa texted me once, "I miss you." I didn't reply, because it was never about just missing me. It was about forgetting us. She chose the game over the vows. And that night, sitting alone in that restaurant, I finally chose myself. The anniversary that marked the end was also the beginning of me.